All right, so welcome to Two Tip Tuesday. I'm your education consultant, Allison, and today I'm going to show you how to create a magic hat. This tip is for use with your students when you're delivering lessons. It's a lot of fun. I'm going to have a couple tips in here for you as we build this. The first one is I've added a new card. We're working on my same creating arrays lesson. I found that through going through my resources. I am going to choose this insert button. First tip is when you click that insert, it always comes to your My Resources tab. Instead of going with My Resources, where I have not uploaded a picture of a hat, I am going to go to my ClassFlow resource pack. I can also choose Bing images and find a free image there. But here I know there's one in my class resources pack. So here I'm going to choose Clip Art Collection. From Clip Art Collection, I will go to General. From General, I will choose Clothing and Accessories. And at this point, I could click on Hat. And then from Hat, I have several to choose from. I'm going to choose this red baseball cap. And then I'm going to click Insert. I'm then going to resize because I don't want it that big. And then I am going to flip it around so it looks like I'm drawing things out of my hat. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to anchor that. That way, when I deliver it to my students, they are not able to move the hat out of the way. And so I just chose anchor all. The next thing I'm going to do is some numbers. So my ideal with this is that I would have my students grab numbers out of the hat and create rays with those numbers. So this would be really easy to differentiate with because I could have my students I could put different numbers in the hat. So I could very easily differentiate this for my students that are working on their lower numbers as opposed to my students who are working on their higher numbers. I could use numbers from one that I noticed my students were having trouble with their multiplication facts. I could also deliver this in my class once I have more than one student. I could choose who I deliver what card to. So I could make several of this magic hat activity and have it differentiated very, very easily. The next thing I want to do is I want to have my numbers. Again, I could choose those as pictures, but here I'm just going to choose to use my text. And with that, I'm going to make sure that my text is all going to be at the 96, and I'm going to make it bold. And I'm just going to put several numbers in here. I'm then going to click away and add more numbers and move those out of the way. I'm going to make these smaller, and you'll see why in just a moment. Now I could do copy and copy those. I'm just choosing to do it this way. And so I'm going to do several numbers here and make sure that I have all of their text boxes smaller. Can't remember if I did that one. And again, you could see I could do different colored numbers here. And when I did different color numbers, I could say the red numbers are going to be your rows and the blue numbers are going to be your columns, or, you know, however I wanted to do that. In this case, I'm just going to make them all the same color to put in my hat. And then the next thing I want to do is I want to make sure that I have all of my numbers one on top of the other. And I'm going to put them in different order. And you'll you'll see why for that in just a moment. And then I'm going to just take them all and put them under my hat. And then what I'm going to do is, so you can see they're all in there. I'm now going to take and click on my hat. I'm going to use my cog. With my cog, I'm going to choose the reorder, and I'm going to bring my hat all the way to the front. So I'm going to bring my hat all the way to the front, and those numbers are hidden. I'm going to double check to make sure that I still have everything anchored, and I do. So let's look at what this looks like when I preview it. And right now it looks like just a hat. But if my students, when you find that little, when you find that little four-pointed arrow, you'll notice that you get something. Okay, so I want to find that little arrow, and it's going to pull them out in the order that you find them. So you could use this, another way you could use it is sight words. You could have sight words in here. You could have vocabulary words, lots of different things you could do here with this, and have your kids then pull 2 out. I'm going to put him back because I pulled more than one. So if we're going to do 5 by 7 for our array, I could then very easily send that to my students as a creative poll and have them draw the array from that as that creative poll, send it back to me, do some formative assessment, and even let it drive my instruction as I'm seeing those results come through. So your 2 tips for today are to find a new way to deliver some of the information. Also, remember that you have in your resources, you have that ClassFlow resource pack to use. Also, that you want to anchor anything on the card that you do not want the students to be able to move. So in creating this magic hat activity, I've given you several tips for ClassFlow. And remember, when I go to deliver this, once I have students in my class, I can choose to deliver different cards to different students. So I can differentiate that way as well. So if this card I wanted to send to a group of students, as long as I had more than 2 students in there, I could send this one to some of them. Then I could send this card to some others. And then I could move along and send more to others. And so I'm going to stop Tip Tuesday for today. I hope you learned something new. Make sure you come back tomorrow for the Promethean Pulse, which of course is a longer video than my normal ones. And we'll pick up some more tips for ClassFlow, Active Inspire, and or your Promethean panel itself. Have a wonderful day, and remember to harness all the power of Promethean for your classroom. It'll be a game changer, I guarantee.